Andrew Carnegie had the philosophy that you get as much education as you can in the first third of your life. Make as much money as you can in the second third of your life. And in the last third of your life, plan to give it away intelligently.
Born in White Plains, New York, Bill Draper is the son of Catherine and William Draper II. His father, who served as the first Undersecretary of the Army and early pioneer in venture capitalism, had a profound impact on Bill's life.
He was straight, honest, and made it clear to everyone the difference between honesty and something less.
After attending Yale University, Bill Draper answered his nation's call, serving as a second lieutenant in the Korean War. Upon returning to the United States, he obtained an MBA from Harvard Business School and studied under Professor George Dorio, who was often credited with starting the venture capital industry. From 1954 to 1959, he worked as a steel salesman at Chicago's Inland Steel Company. In 1959, Bill left Chicago to work as an associate at his father's newly formed firm, Draper, Gaither, and Anderson, the first venture capital company on the West Coast. In 1962, he co-founded his own venture capital firm, Draper & Johnson Investment Company.
We worked well together. We did some good deals. We didn't always agree on everything, what partners do, but it was always open and above board and very constructive.
Bill Draper is very intuitive. He can make a decision, bang. Pitch is very analytical. It takes him a while to figure everything out. They became friends, they parted friends, and they've stayed friends.
In 1965, Draper founded Sutter Hill Ventures, which to this day remains one of the top venture capital firms in the country. Early on, he recognized the importance of investing in people and ideas throughout the world.
At Sutter Hill Ventures, we had a very good portfolio of companies that we had backed. David Lee was one man who we backed. He started a company called Cume.
The first time I went to Sutter Hill, I meet with Mr. Paul Weiss and Mr. Draper, and that was my first time meet the VC people. They are not only contributed money, but they also contribute ideas.
During his 20 years as the senior partner of Sutter Hill, Bill helped organize and finance several hundred high-technology manufacturing companies. In 1981, he was called upon to play an important role in expanding the world economy. Then-President Ronald Reagan appointed Bill as the president and chairman of the Export-Import Bank of the United States. He assumed a leadership role in U.S. efforts to sustain world trade in the face of major liquidity problems among the developing countries.
Being with the Ex-Im Bank and with a mission that they had, which was essentially to do what amounts to venture capital, in a sense, it's really social venture capital on a worldwide basis. I mean, there's nobody who has more practical experience than Bill.
Bill Draper continued with his commitment to public service, next becoming the head of the world's largest source of multilateral development grant assistance, the United Nations Development Program, and was instrumental in leading several global initiatives and nearly 10,000 international aid projects.
We had to have every country in the world represented in our organization. So the culture and the communications and the language and just the body language is so important.
When I arrived at the United Nations in 2005, Bill was already well known, already an inspiration to a new generation of those of us aspiring to help our country, our community, and build a better world.
After he got out of the UN, he started to think, where's the best place to invest money? And I remember him saying he was going to do the Cha-Cha-Cha Fund, China, Czechoslovakia, and Chile. And that was sort of the plan, but then he realized that India would also be an exciting place, and they spoke English.
Bill had connections to the top leaders to really understand the environment, the macro environment that we were getting into. No one had invested in venture capital in India, and in fact in a lot of these markets. And our analysis came through that we wanted to invest in India for a lot of different reasons. They had this connection in software to Silicon Valley. Our timing was lucky. We were there from '94 to 2000 as the internet bubble was getting big.
I was an investor in his fund, Draper International, and he made me something like 16 times my money almost before I wrote a check. And so if anybody gets a chance to invest in their father, they should.
While Bill has always been able to identify innovative companies to invest in, he also helped to transform philanthropy and social entrepreneurship by applying the model of venture capitalism and co-created the Draper Richards Kaplan Foundation. This venture philanthropy foundation has fostered a network of social entrepreneurs who strive to improve lives of people around the world.
We give them $100,000 per year for 3 years, but the most important thing we do is we give them one of our portfolio managers to go on their board, and that person literally becomes like their best friend.
As a civic leader, Bill Draper has been involved in many community service programs and boards throughout the United States and has served as the chairman for several of these organizations, including the World Affairs Council of Northern California.
Bill is not only an absolutely natural leader, but he is really skilled at identifying that quality in others. He can pick leaders like you've never seen, and he knows how to nurture them, mentor them, move them along.
Bill has always found time for his family, regardless of his commitments at work and to his country. He's been married to his wife Phyllis for 59 years and is father to Tim, Polly, and Becky, along with several grandchildren.
I think his wife, Phyllis, is remarkable, and they together are quite a team in terms of commitment to all the right ideals.
Our families were good friends, and we got together, and I think the warmth of the friendship and the genuineness of it over a long time, based on trust.
Bill starts with an understanding and a vision of the world that is, unique, following a central philosophy that empowers people to optimize their own skill set.
He is one of what we call the great generation, the generation that have a moral fortitude, but they also have a patriotism and a love of country because they served in the war.
He richly deserves this award. He richly deserves anyone that comes his way, and he will be the absolute last person to tell you that.
Go, Dad, you earned it.